Hi everyone, Mandy here, Feathers, Foraging and Flynn. We wanted to give you a little insight into what goes on in the background as we're preparing your boxes. This up and coming month we have a Herbs for Magic box, which has an ingredient where the correspondences are for love and blessings. So we thought what better to do, or what not better to do than a love spell, open heart love spell. So today we're making ritual salts for you to be able to use in a spell all about that herb. So starting with a mixture we've already got prepared here of different salts, as you would have. So it can either be used around the home, in the bath, or in your spell. Brings protection. And we've got some lovely Himalayan salt in there as well. So the mixture of salts that I've chosen today are magnesium salt, epsom salt, Himalayan salt and Dead Sea salt. So that I've already mixed up. Sometimes it gets a bit lumpy, so I've smashed some of the larger lumps to make it nice and fine for you to be able to use. Okay, so we're going to put that to one side just for a moment. Here I have one already prepared earlier. An empty bowl. Okay. So next we have the different herbs that we're going to incorporate into these ritual salts. I have a list, a mixture. There are so many different herbs that you can use, but this is a little combination that I like to use. So the first one being catnip, which I'll tell you all the correspondences as well, and I'll put a link in the description. So catnip has the correspondences of love, beauty, happiness. Fig leaves, love, fertility, divination. Lady's mantle for love. Rose, of course, everyone knows about rose. Love, healing and luck. White willow, we are going to use the leaves of white willow today. Just because they're easier to grind into smaller pieces and you don't want great bits of tree trunk floating about in your bath if that's how you're going to end up using it. Willow have the correspondences of love, healing and protection, and red campion, which carries the properties of love and blessings. Okay, so the ratio of your salt mix should be 1 tablespoon a mixture of your herbs, 3 drops of essential oils, and 4 tablespoons of salts. So the 4 tablespoons I've already put to one side. In fact, I'm doubling up on those ratios because of the amount of bottles that we need to fill. So the 4 tablespoons of salts have gone to one side. So now we're going to concentrate on your mixture of herbs. So I'm going to take a little bit of each on this list, just because I'm greedy. Right, first of all we have some lady's mantle. I'm going to put, right, this is my measurement, my tablespoon per se. I'm going to put that much of lady's mantle. Apparently really good for women's problems, like menstrual problems. Fig leaves, wonderful. We have 2 fig trees here at Feathers Garden, so we managed to take our own fig leaves and dry them. You have to be very careful with fig leaves, because when you break them from the tree or any part of it, it releases a sap that is quite caustic. In the old days they used to use them for removing warts and skin tags, things like that. So just be careful if you're harvesting your own fig leaves. I find it easier to snap them off and put them into a large bag paper bag which you can hang up to dry without having to touch them. Next I have catnip. Love catnip. Okay, can you put that much in? All the cats in the neighbourhood love our catnip. We go out every morning to find it squashed. Okay, now I'm going to put in a little bit of rose petals. We love rose petals. I love roses. My husband Jed not so much. Soon the whole garden will be roses. Much to his dismay, I'm sure. Here we have some white willow leaf. Just going to put in a pinch of those. And finally some red campion. About that much. Love red campion. It's up and in bloom at the moment. If you know how to forage it, you should be able to find it, as it's a wild herb. Okay, so now you've got your little mixture of herbs here. They look really pretty. You must make sure that you're using dried herbs if you're going to contain them in a closed bottle, otherwise it will turn the whole mixture rancid. Okay, so what we're going to do now, for any spell work this would be fine. If you can see the size of it, but don't really want large pieces like that floating about in your bath or trying to fit them in a tiny little bottle either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a pestle and mortar, and I'm going to take a large pinch of the salt we've already put to one side, because that will help it grind better. So bear with me one moment. Probably take about this much salt. You can sing while you're doing this, if you have a good voice, even if you don't, scare the spirits away. Another pinch of salt, I think. Okay, I'm going to bring my big bowl of salt back to the table. Most of the herbs are broken down, apart there's a couple of big bits which I'm just going to break with my hands. They somehow have managed to escape. Okay, then we're going to take the rest of that and add it to the salt. Et voila. Okay, so once you've done that, don't they look pretty? Once you've done that, stir them thoroughly. Until they're fully combined with the salt mixture. That looks so nice and smells gorgeous already, and we haven't even introduced our essential oils. Okay, so now, as I said before, we have a ratio of 1 to 3 to 4, so that was 1 tablespoon of mixed herbs, 3 drops of essential oils, and 4 tablespoons of salts. So For our essential oils, I've chosen Mandarin, rose and Parma violets. Normally you would go with any mixture at a ratio of about 1% to be safe, although that's not exactly precise. So I'm just going to do 1 drop of each of these. I always use a pipette. And use a different pipette for each bottle, just to try and avoid cross-contamination. Excuse me a moment. That's one of Mandarin. Rose Absolute. This is a beautiful essential oil, although quite expensive to get pure rose. I'm just going to do a couple of drops of that, 3 drops maybe. I know, I lied. And then violets, Parma violets. Oh, can you smell it? Smells like those sweets we used to have when I was a little girl. Showing my age now. Just put a couple of those in. Okay. I buy all of our ingredients, or most of our ingredients, from a company called the Soap Kitchen, because we make a lot of our own products as well, and you need to have all the batch numbers, etc. Okay, so once you've done that, we stir. You can use a whisk if you like, if you feel that's easier for you. Stir. The smell is amazing. And there you have it. Smells amazing. Okay, so from there you would store it in an airtight packet or a bottle if you have a nice bottle to put it in. Why not try and make your own salts? It really is not difficult at all, and you can get most of your basic ingredients either from the Soap Kitchen or from your local chemist. Enjoy!